Welcome back to Michael's Kitchen, and today we got short rib ragu. As you guys saw on our last video, where we went to that Colorado travel vlog, that we went to that underground Italian restaurant, and they had a ragu there, but I fell into the other trap and I said, short rib, I'm gonna try that. So similar to our prison sauce we made, we'll put a link there as well for that. Similar to that, we'll do a Dutch oven style ragu short rib sauce and see how it turns out. So what we'll need for our ragu sauce, of course, some gorgeous short ribs. Go to your butcher and ask for good ones, because some of these just come full of fat. We want the meat. So get the good ones. To make my sauce, I'm going to do some dry vermouth, a can of San Marzano potatoes, tomatoes, about 5 or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. You guys know, garlic, fresh thyme, bay leaves, some beef broth, 1 carrot, a small diced onion, and that's it. But the star of the show is going to be the pappardelle sauce, pappardelle pasta. But that'll be later on. So we'll get our sauce going, we'll brown off our short ribs, and we'll get somewhere quick. To get these seasoned, I'm going to go ahead and put some salt, pepper, and garlic all over. Be liberal with your seasoning, because this is as much pepper I'm going to put in here. So be liberal with it and get all edges, all corners, and we'll get them browned off in our Dutch oven here, which is our next step. My Dutch oven is up to temp, so I'm going to add in about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil to brown off my short ribs. And I'll do them in batches. You want to go meat side down. And I'll get, 4 of them in here. And I got this on medium-high heat. So it's going to get enough color. Once you get some color on them, go ahead and start doing all meat sides. Once you have the color you're after, nice and brown, go ahead and take them all out and then put in your next batch of ribs. Rinse and repeat. Now that I've got all my short ribs browned off and got some gorgeous color on there, I can move on to the base of my tomato sauce. And I'll get these out of the way. And I'll first add my carrot and my onion. And I drop the heat down to low. Okay? Now we're going to start simmering stuff. So get that going. Pick up all the foam in the bottom of the pan, the yum. And then we'll start adding building flavors here. So onions and carrots are going. I'm going to add in my 4 cloves of crushed garlic. Stir that into the bottom. Let that go for about, 40 seconds, 50 seconds. You can already smell the garlic. You guys know we love garlic here. And then I'll go ahead and add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Incorporate that in the bottom of the pan here. And again, just building flavors. Now for my prison sauce, I did red wine. I'm going to do the vermouth. And add in about, 4 tablespoons, a quarter cup to the bottom. And again, building flavors. Hopefully you can see how that turned out on the bottom, on that other camera. And then I'll add in my 2 cups of beef broth. And again, I remember I dropped it down. I'm gonna add in my can of San Marzano tomatoes as I make a mess. I'm going to get my gloves on, or my glove on, and I'm gonna break up all those tomatoes, crush them up like I did in that red sauce we did for deep dish pizza. That red sauce is delicious. If you do one thing on our channel, that red sauce is fire. All my tomatoes are broken up and incorporated. I'm gonna add in a bunch of thyme, as mentioned. And I'll fish the stems out later on when it's done. And then I'll add in 2 bay leaves. And then I'll incorporate all of our short ribs back in. Make sure they're all somewhat submerged. And this is gonna go in the oven for 3 hours. The first 2 hours will be covered. The last hour will be venting a little bit. But for 3 hours, this is going into a 300 degree oven. And you'll see when we come back. So 3 hours later, we're here. So as a recap for the last 3 hours, the first 2 hours was covered entirely. The last hour was just cracked to let it vent. And here's where we are. I wish you could smell this because it smells delicious. And the sauce, actually I'm gonna fish out the bones. I'm gonna fish out the beef. I'm gonna fish out the bay leaves, and I'm gonna fish out the thyme stems. And we'll go back from there. The goal being, I'll show this one first. The goal being, I want to take off the membrane from the bone, but everything else is gonna go back into the pot. So if I take this knife, and I basically take this off of this, so it's super tender already, you can see that in the video. So this is the membrane I don't want, it's unedible. So, but the beef is gonna go back in. I fished out exactly 2 bay leaves and a bunch of thyme stems. Everything else is in there. And I got the meat off the bones, and I'm just gonna go ahead and shred this up and then add this back to the gravy, to the ragu. Now that I've got everything shredded, I'm gonna go ahead and add this back into the sauce, but I really wanna point out, this was what, 7 bones, 7 short ribs to begin with? Look how much meat, it really made a lot. So I'll go ahead and get this back added into the pot. I haven't even tasted yet, which is perfect timing because that's the step that I'm at right now. I'll go ahead and give this a quick stir. Incorporate all that. And basically our ragu is done. Now on to our finishing step for serving. So I'm gonna get my pot ready, or remove the lid. I'm gonna put about, I don't know, 1 or 2 ladles of this gorgeous ragu. By the way, Triple M just came from the other side and she says, "What smells so good?" It just doesn't do it justice. You guys don't get to smell this unless you try it at home, and let us know below. So I'm gonna get 1 or 2 ladles of this ragu in the bottom of my pot here. And let that simmer away. And then I'm gonna grab my al dente pappardelle, which was a mission trying to find it, but I found it. And I'm gonna add that into my pot here, let it all drain out. And again, water is fine, because that's why I got that going in there, so that without making a mess. That's why I got it going in there, so that it can steep in the ragu, and the water is going to help it thin it out as well. The pasta water. If it gets too thin, I could always add in some more ragu. If it gets too thick, I can always add some more pasta water. But I'll get that going. That looks about right for me, for our servings. And then to this, I'll add some Parmesan cheese. Get that going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's looking and smelling good. We'll serve and taste here in a second. Took all that, put it in here, paused for a thumbnail, and I haven't tasted it yet. So, let's see what we're working with. The pasta, again, let it go al dente, because you're gonna toss it in the sauce, and let it absorb all the ragu. The shortbread is tender. You guys saw it broke apart. That is a winner. I know my boy Jimmy B is going to be saying all types of things about this one. Guys, that's good. My neighbor gets some, so I know she'll be excited for this as well. If you like this video, like the video. Comment down below if there's anything you want to try and make, and subscribe for more. That said,
a buen tiempo.
A buen tiempo, guys. See you guys soon. It's good. I'm waiting for the...
Looks good. It huele tan bueno que me dio hambre. Perfect timing.